when we were just starting to say hello to everyone who's joining our live. Thank you all so much for popping in here. I'm so excited to be in conversation with these two incredible women who I really look up to. Ladies, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone and tell them what we're doing here?
Yeah, I was going to introduce you guys, but if you wanted to,
Oh, okay.
um,
You do it. You do it.
okay, yeah, please
I
don't.
just jumped right into my podcast host thing and was like, you know what? This is not my show. It's your show. You go.
You know what? If you're taking a little bit of work away from me, very happy. No, but I am. Hello, everyone. Everyone's coming in. I am Juilevadnal. I am the deputy editor at Domino, where we cover sustainability, especially in the home. I am here, and I am so excited to have both of you here. Obviously, you know Sophia Bush. She is an actress and an activist, and she knows a lot about tips and tricks, maybe small ways to make a big impact environmentally. I'm also here with Jacqueline Biles. She is the founder of Better Battery Company, which we're going to talk all about. Oh, amazing.
I went and got mine out of my garage just for today.
But I want to say that, we're wrapping up on Earth Month, but that's the sad part. But the good news is that we don't have to stop with just 1 month. And actually we can't stop with just 1 month. Like, we need to keep this train going, this momentum going. We're going to be talking about greener living today. But first I want to start with Jacqueline and tell us a little bit about Better Battery Company. I wasn't too familiar with it before it, became big and Sophia Bush was talking about it and everyone's doing it. So tell me about how it got started.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So Betterbatteryco is a family-founded business. We just launched actually at the end of October of last year. So we are fairly new. We are two of our co-founders are moms, myself included. I'm a mom of three. And as you know, we go through a lot of batteries, and that sort of led to us digging into, I don't know if you know, but your batteries, they roll around in your junk drawer. We don't know what to do with them when they're gone. So my sister and I actually said there's got to be a better way to do this. They can't keep rolling around in our junk drawer. There's no good way to recycle them. Let's, talk about how we can make a bigger impact and look at, giving people a simple process for recycling batteries. Doing a little bit of digging, we found that 3 billion batteries end up in the landfill every single year, just strictly not knowing how to recycle them, where to recycle them, how to properly recycle them. So we came up with Better Battery Co. to fix that problem. So we are the world's only carbon neutral battery with a built-in recycling program. What that means is we make it super easy for customers to be able to purchase our batteries. We have alkaline disposable batteries. You purchase your kits. When your kits are depleted, you put them back in the kit we sent them in that keep them all nice and tidy in your junk drawer that Sophia just so kindly showed us. And we give you a prepaid label, you put it on, and it goes back to your nearest recycling center where they get reused and broken down into their parts to be used for things like fertilizer, zinc manganese, and asphalt. So no part of your battery goes unused. And then from us, we have all of our packaging is recyclable. We are completely carbon neutral with carbonfund.org. So we've really tried to make your everyday product a little bit more friendly for our environment.
I absolutely love that. And I love that Sophia has it right there to show us what it looks like when it gets to your door.
It's so, so cool. Okay, so I want to jump in, if I may, for a moment and talk a little bit about getting introduced to Jacqueline and her product. I think so much of what we run into in life where we go, there has to be a better way to do this. If people really gave their attention to those daily problems, they could truly change the world. And that's what I believe you guys are doing. And it's so cool to be able to talk about this and the way it affects my life at work, and to do so with Domino. I'm like the longest, oldest fan of the magazine and the publishing arm, really. And I love figuring out ways to make my home a little greener. And the really cool thing about these guys, I'm gonna like Vanna White this.
Yeah.
I feel like this is my wheel of fortune. So your Better Battery Co box opens like this. It's a happy little guy. It gives you all your information, which I'm not going to read to you because you can read it yourself and you get your batteries today for Earth Day. But see this? This is what we're talking about, the organization. No things rolling around in your junk drawer. And look at how cute they are. They're like a cutie little design. And the reason that these became a part of my life is because of my day job. As most of you know, I see your sweet comments here in the chat. I work on TV shows almost all the time. And the other things that I do are work here in my podcast studio. Here's like my microphone set up, creeping in on the side of the lens. But most of the things that I do require the capture of sound. And when I'm on set as an actor, I can't sit in front of a microphone like this, plugged into the wall like I can in my recording studio. And on a set, you are mic'd. You know, you've got a mic hidden, usually like right on the inside of your sweater. And then there's a very thin wire that runs usually to a small pack on your ankle that is about this big. And that pack holds one AA battery. And that battery has to be changed twice a day at minimum to capture all of the sound that it takes to record a show, which, you know, we're on set usually anywhere from 14 to 16 hours a day, which means I personally, as an actor, create two AA batteries of waste every day that I am at work. And when you think about the fact that most of us work on shows with 5, 6, 7, 9, 10 other people, that's a lot of batteries we go through. And when a mutual friend introduced me to Jacqueline last year and said, you've got to hear about this woman who's making batteries that you can recycle, I was like, get them to me. And you were so kind. You sent me my first Better Battery box in Canada. We went through customs and everything. And for the rest of the season, I got to collect my batteries and send them back knowing that I wasn't creating any electronic waste while I do my job. And even coming home and thinking about, you know, remotes and clocks and all the things in a house that need a battery, I really conscientiously think about how now, thanks to you, I don't create any electronic waste anymore. And it's such a minor shift ordering these versus, you know, ordering, I don't know, whatever, or going and getting whatever brand you get at like the drugstore. It's not hard to make a change, and it has such a huge impact. And even earlier this month, I got to encourage people to get out and plant trees in their community because it has an impact. And all these little things that we do really have the potential to create major shift in the world around us. And so I'm clearly your biggest fan. And I'm really pumped to let people in on something like this, because there were people at the start of the month who said, I don't have an organization in my community that's planting trees right now. What can I do? And making a shift as small as changing your battery brand is something you can do, because 3 billion pieces of trash every year because we need to, you know, live our lives is not okay.
Right.
So thank you.
Have you turned that onto it? Like, is everyone now on the set using them?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Everybody was like, where did you get those? And where did we get those? And I just sent everyone your Instagram page. I was like, go forth, have a time, follow Betterbatteryco on Instagram, and you too can cease to produce garbage, literally.
Literally. I really like what you said about small changes. And I think about that a lot in home design, because there are those little things that you can do, like LED bulbs really make a difference. Are there things that you guys have changed in your lives that you're like, yes, like I will never buy a plastic water bottle again. Like I got my water bottle. You know, what are the small changes that you each have made that like add up to that big impact?
There's also, Julie, recyclable water bottles, making sure even, you know, the plastic bags that we use, you know, switching to brands like Stasher Bag that make, you know, recycling our bags, you know, so much easier. You know, even from a toy perspective, there's so many companies out there that are making sustainably produced toys that can be recycled, you know, just choosing products by companies that that care about, you know, what happens at end of life and how do we reuse. And little things, you know, on our end is, you know, teaching our kids about recycling, teaching them what to do and how to do it, and making sure that they understand the process. And, you know, even those little steps that we do, make sure that the next generation will do it better than us, and, you know, we'll have an even bigger impact than we can have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love some of those tips. You know, I did the same. I made the switch to stasher bags, which I love. And, you know, they require a little bit of an investment. But when I did the math on what I was spending annually on Ziploc bags versus what it would cost me to buy a couple of stashers and then buy a couple more in a couple months, it was pretty on par. It is one of the things that I really admire about what you guys are doing, Jacqueline, is you have really fair competitive pricing. And I think a lot of people assume that if you're going to do something for the environment, it's going to cost you more money. And in fact, doing the things that cause harm often cost us more in the long run. And I think once we all learn that that's true, it helps us to shift our mindset and maybe some of the stereotypes that we didn't even realize we had sort of absorbed from society around us. So for me, it's really about looking at not only things that I can switch out for reusable options, safer options, even, you know, getting to a point where I've got a set of Pyrex at home so I don't use anything that's plastic for storing my leftovers. It's that, and then it's also about being willing to be inquisitive about my own mindset and my own beliefs, and just ask with curiosity, well, where do those come from? Why do I think that? Is that true? And I think the more we can do that in general, not just on the topic of the environment, but on most topics, if we can ask kind questions, we can all really grow and continue to learn new things.
Yeah. I was thinking about Better Battery and how there's not even waste in the packaging. When you buy traditional batteries, they come in that plastic, and then you've eliminated all of that.
Yes, we was very specifically designed so that there was zero waste. So when batteries are sent back to our partners at Raw Materials Company, everything from the box to the poly mailer to everything inside gets fully recycled, creating no waste to landfill. So we were very particular about how we made it to ensure that we really didn't have to throw anything away. And, you know, the great thing is that even from an education standpoint, when we talk about recycling batteries, is most people don't know all of the great things that, you know, we use, like sunscreen on an everyday basis, that actually probably has recycled components of battery in it. You know, once they break it down, it can be used in so many other things. So really, you know, the positives are not creating waste, not having, you know, what's inside a battery leak into our environment, and then creating new products. So it really is a full cycle, which is really exciting. And I think as people are learning that there are so many products out there that can be full cycle, people start to understand the need to switch those everyday products so that, you know, you can have those small impacts.
The one that I think of all the time is contact lenses. I wear dailies, and you can recycle every single part down to the contact lens.
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely. That's really great.
Wow, I didn't realize that. Julie, I'm curious for you, you know, working at a place like Domino, where you're so focused on the home and how we live in it, how we design our spaces and feel good in them. Are there things that you've learned or picked up as tools of the home trade that, you know, you can let an actor and a battery boss in on, and maybe everyone else who's with us?
Well, Sophia, I saw that you like to go to flea markets. So I feel like you could school me on some of these things. But I think we're in a really cool moment where vintage furniture is super popular. Like, I get addicted to some of those accounts where I'm just scrolling and you have to like be quick fingered in order to get them. But vintage furniture is so popular right now, and it's also very environmentally friendly. You're not, you know, buying from a company who's creating something new. You're taking something that's pre-loved, and you can also, I mean, I'm the queen of finding old furniture and then getting it reupholstered or like making it. Doesn't mean that it can't be custom. So that's one of my favorite tricks. It just makes me feel better. I also live in a place where I can just put things that maybe I don't need anymore or don't want anymore out on my stoop. And I am Fern have gotten some great stoop finds. So sometimes it's just about driving around and seeing what's at the end of someone's driveway and being creative with it. I think, what did I say before? I said LED bulbs. I'm a huge stasher fan. I also just like to be really organized, which makes me happy about Better Battery Company because it's like, again, the junk drawer that's like full of batteries. And this is like a very soothing box. Everything, you know, all the sizes are together. So that appeals to the type A editor in me.
Oh yeah.
If you look at your box, Julie and Sophia, when you use your battery and it's depleted, you can flip it back over, and we've laid it out so it's sort of like snakes and ladders for you. So once you get to the white part on your box, that tells you it's time to reorder. You can reorder it.
Oh, it's this part up here.
Then you can put.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
so this, you're in the green, you get to white, and you know you need to order a new box. This is very smart.
And when you flip your
I
battery,
don't know what I thought that was for before, but now I realize. I just like the color scheme. I never considered that is what it was telling me.
Yes.
our easy trick so people remember when it's time to reorder, and when you flip them up, it's just an easy way to know which ones are depleted, and you can keep going along the path.
Wait, I was talking about them being, you know, going eco or going green doesn't have to always be more expensive. And actually right now, Better Batteries are 20% off, confirm or deny.
Confirm. They are 20% off site all day today. And
their box.
Purchasing batteries, most people don't purchase batteries in bulk. So it's a new way for people to purchase a commodity item like a battery. Most of us, you know, in traditional habit, it's on our way out of, you know, a pharmacy or, you know, a Target or something like that. You're grabbing them, you're putting them in your cart on an as-need basis, creating, you know, essentially even more waste when we're buying them in 4-packs and 2-packs. And so when we think about, you know, planning for, you know, 4 months or 6 months, you know, we've done our research to know sort of what the average household uses in terms of battery cell type. So ours is AA, AAA, and 9 volts for your smoke detectors. So we've really tried to take the guesswork out of what you need. And then on our website, based on, you know, your usage or your family size or, you know, whatever your needs are, you can set it up as a subscription. So it's a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it. It'll just come to you. Or you can purchase it as a one-off, and you can increase the frequency if, you know, you're putting them in your gaming remotes, or, you know, it's Christmas, need a couple of boxes. So we've tried to make it really easy and, you know, for people to purchase and just sort of set it and forget it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than, you know, Christmas morning, or you get something for your birthday and you can't even use it yet.
Yeah, I will say that it was so nice for me, you know, having these at work. I'm talk about, like, you know, being type A. I wire myself at work every day. I make myself, and my sweet sound guy Jason was like, I don't think I've ever had an actor who does this, because normally you, like, you know, you get into wardrobe and then you go in and you get wired, and I'm like, I'll do it. I'll stitch it in. I have like all these weird tricks I like to use, and so I would normally go in to get a battery from him while everyone else was getting wired. And then I heard about you guys, and I got my first box, and I would just come in every day and be like, got a battery. I gotcha. We're good. He was like, this is insane. Okay. And so we had to have like a little check system, because he was like, I come up to you every day offering you something that you already have, but it's habit. And I was like, it just means you're an excellent professional. And apparently I'm it's just such a cool thing to realize that, you know, as you said, whether you're a parent who has kids that have a bunch of toys and things that need batteries, or you work on a set like I do, or, you know, if I'm traveling for the podcast, I have a travel mic that runs on a battery, because I can't always guarantee that, you know, the random closet that's the quietest in a hotel will have a plug in it. So I've learned that I need like a book light and a battery pack for my mic, so that I can record from anywhere. And just having something that's neat and organized and doesn't create clutter and then doesn't create clutter for the planet makes me feel really, really solid, whether I'm home or traveling or wherever.
Absolutely. And you would rely on the performance of that battery if you're hiding in a closet doing your podcast. And
Yeah, I really need it to last.
our batteries perform the same as all of the comparable brands. So it really is a no-brainer in terms of making that switch.
Yeah.
I love it. I want to say, if anyone has questions, I'm going to try my best to read them and
Ooh.
before they scroll up and away. I did want to pick your guys' brains though a little bit about design too, because I'm always looking for new ideas. So if you have any ways that, like, Jacqueline, are there any ways that you have designed your home to be a little more eco-friendly? Or Sophia, please tell me your secrets.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, there are all sorts of little, tips and tricks. As you said, I am a lover of vintage furniture. Always have been. And yes, suddenly everyone's into vintage furniture, and I'm like, why is everything getting more expensive?
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
it's better for the planet. So I think that has always been a way that has really worked for me. And even, when I needed to make my studio a little more soundproof to record at home, looking for ways I could treat the walls, the thing that was the most sustainable for me was actually to source sustainable cork. Because it helps to deaden the sound, but it didn't require me to, open up the walls to install like sound foam or something that was just not going to be good. For the planet. I didn't want to create a bunch of waste just to have a workspace.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was like a big trick I pulled off. And, I spent a while in here with adhesive. But then something smaller that I did years ago, I installed a water filter in my kitchen sink so that I would never be tempted to outsource water, whether it came in, a can or a bottle. There's all these small changes you can make and things that you can invest in, if you kind of think through them, that last in really incredible ways. I mean, Jacqueline, what about you?
Well, I would like to say that, from a design perspective, I'm choosing more eco-conscious. Right now, my home is pretty much just looks like a toy central. So right now, but from when we think about it from I'll talk from a toy perspective is, I've got a large group of network of moms, and we just swap toys at different age levels, at different, times. And even, we rotate through. When our kids get tired of them, then we give them to one family, and then we get them back at some point, so that we're not purchasing and creating all kinds of waste for toys that, will really and truly probably last a couple weeks or a couple months in terms of entertainment, and then it's on to something new. So even small things like that are recycling. And Julie, you mentioned the end of the road finds. I have found some good toys on the end of the road finds that are great, and it's not something you have to go out and purchase. And it's getting a second round of love from a family once a family's finished with it. So small things like that, I think, are important and are easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. We're running low on time, but someone did ask if they are only available in the US, Better Battery.
Right now we're in the US and Canada. And by probably the end of this year, we hope to be in Mexico and in the EU. So we're coming. We're slowly expanding.
So cool.
Great. Guys, this is really fun, but did I miss anything? Is there something else you wanted to talk about before we wrap up? I don't want to take up too much time.
I don't know. I thought that this was so wonderful.
Yeah, I appreciate, you guys coming on and chatting with us. And, I think that if there's one takeaway message that we can leave people with is just small changes. They don't need to be big. They don't need to be these monumental, efforts, just little things that we can do in our homes to make change. And, collectively, it does have a big impact. And, when we are purchasing, to just pay attention to the brands that we're purchasing from, because there's some really wonderful brands out there that are really doing it right. And, if we can support them, then that's really fantastic.
Great.
Amen to that.
So into it. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
It was fun.
I just love it. And guys, I think it would be so special. You know, I see some things, I can't quite keep up with the comments, I'm sorry, but I do see ideas that people have been dropping in. You know, so many people were saying that the suggestion of a toy swap was amazing. I know that my online community has rallied when we've done clothing sales, and my you know, IRL girlfriends and I do clothing swaps very often. I think there's all these sort of things that you can do that do make a huge impact that only require small behavioral shifts. And so think about what those might be for you, and also message us, let us know. And be sure to follow Better Battery Co. because we all use batteries at some point or another. So let's make sure that we're using batteries that don't hurt the planet. And lastly, don't forget that they're having a huge sale today, because if you need some batteries, you should go get 20% off.
I'm going to do it literally right after we log off. So.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.